Okay, today's Wednesday, April 7th, and you guys at home should see some papers in Seesaw that look like this, okay? Unit 25, Introduction, and the first problem has a bookshelf, okay? We are going to do some of these together, and then you guys will practice on your own, okay? So I really need you to focus and pay attention. Okay, number 1, who wants to read it? All right, Jalen. Nice and loud so we can hear. Lydia? Her name is Lydia. If that was confusing. Kelsey?
Lydia placed 42 books on a bookshelf with 6 shelves. She put the same number of books on each shelf. Complete the picture to show how many books like Lydia placed on each shelf.
Okay, do we know the total amount of books she has?
Yes.
Yes. What does that usually mean when you know the total?
Divide.
Divide. Okay, so to show a division problem, I've already got the shelves, so could I use these shelves to show it?
Yes.
Yes, Javea, how could I show it using the shelves? I can count how many shelves there are? Well, they already told me. It's a bookshelf with 6 shelves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what could I do now? You could draw a little book on each shelf and keep going until you run out, right? That's dividing. You're sharing it with each shelf, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let you do that on your own. But what we would do is count 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and keep going until you get to 42. Okay, did y'all get to 42?
Yes.
So now what would we do?
I'm not finished.
Evangeline? You would count how many are on one of the shelves. How many are there?
7.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So 6 times 7 equals 42. Okay? Good so far?
Yeah.
So we actually divided, but the equation was a multiplication equation, so they go together. Number 2, 4 girls and 3 boys share 35 quarters equally. Share is a key word. What does it mean when we're sharing usually?
Subtract.
Whoop. Divide. Subtract, I would accept too, but you would subtract equally because you're sharing equally. Repeated subtraction. Okay? Draw a picture to show how many quarters each person receives, then complete the equation beneath. Okay? Well, how many people are there?
35.
4 girls and 3 boys equals how many people? 7 people. So I'm taking the 35 quarters, dividing it by 7 people. So how could I show that in a picture? What do you think, Aaliyah? What could I do? We could do an array. What else? Kaylee? Draw circles like they're the people. How many circles? 7 circles. So these problems are going to take you a little longer to show, but that's okay. We've got to take our time and just work through it, okay? So what would I do now with my circles?
You would put the things in there until you get to 35.
Yes, keep going until you get to 35. Okay, once you get all the way to 35, you just look at one group, count how many you ended up with, and it should be 5. So can 5 go in this box?
Yes.
Yes. It's like a fact family. All you do is flip those numbers around. Okay, so the answer would be 5 quarters. Each person would get 5 quarters. Now, if you wanted to draw an array, that's fine. All of our pictures don't have to look the same. Okay, let's skip to number 5. Skip to number 5. The Johnson family is going on vacation to Hawaii. Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Johnson, and their 4 children each carry 3 bags. The total amount of luggage they bring is the missing number in this equation. Okay? This missing number is the total. What always goes in the front of a division problem?
The biggest number.
The biggest number, or the total. Okay? So we need to find the total. Let's figure out where these numbers are coming from. 3 is coming from the 3 bags, right?
Yes.
6 is coming from what? Anybody figure that out?
6 is coming from
The people. There's 4 children plus 2 adults. That's 6 people. Okay? So now, how am I going to find this box? What could I do? We learned it yesterday. Kelsey?
You could multiply 6. I got the answer.
Multiply 6 and
You can
multiply 6 by what, though?
3.
6 by 3. Good. So I'm actually kind of doing a fact family. I'm going to move these numbers around. For multiplication, the box or the total would end up at the end, right? And these two become your factors. 6 times 3.
6 times 3 is 18.
Okay, what is 6 times 3?
18.
Very good. So the box would equal 18. Does that make sense that 18 divided by 6 equals 3?
Yes.
Yes. Always go back and check to see if that number makes sense in the equation. Okay? So the total number of bags the Johnson family takes to Hawaii is 18 bags. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you're missing the first number of a division sentence, you need to find the total. And how do we find the total? Multiply. How do we find the total, Kaylee? Multiply. Sometimes we add, but in this case we were multiplying. Okay? Alright. Let's flip the page. Yeah, we said it was easy yesterday, but then when you got your assignment, we all panicked and didn't know what to do.
Yeah, that problem was hard.
Okay, I want you guys to try number 1 on the back on your own. So page 200. Demarius had a rectangular cake. He needed to cut the cake into 30 equal slices. His mom cut the cake into 5 sections as shown. Then his mom asked Demarius to finish cutting the cake. Demarius used this equation to decide how to divide each section. Okay, so figure out the missing. Are you ready to check?
No.
Okay, I'm going to show you a fact family just in case we were not able to figure out what number goes in that missing box just by looking at it. Okay, so to figure out this missing box, I'm going to go ahead and write the whole fact family. So 5 times what equals 30 would be another multiplication. Now for division, what number would go in the front? 30. 30 divided by something equals 5, and 30 divided by 5 equals something. Okay. Now would it make sense for one of these to be my answer? No. Okay, so I know it has to be 4 or 6. Which one of these equations in my fact family can I actually work out? Tavea? Which one of these equations can I work out? This one, this one, this one, or this one? This one? Yes, so I can actually do 30 divided by 5 by skip counting, right? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How many times did I skip by 5? 6. So 6 would be your answer. Okay. Did anybody try to do something else? What did you do, Bryson? You put dots in the chart, so you treated these 5 rectangles like 5 boxes. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And each box still ends up with 6. Okay? Good, Bryson. Okay, number 2. Back to division. Okay, so what does this box represent down here? Because it's kind of backwards. What does that box represent before we start? Kaylee?
Total.
Not the total. Because it's got the equal sign in between. What do you think, Evangeline? No. Not this time. Javea? The missing one, but it's also the answer to this division problem, right? 12 divided by 6. Can we do 12 divided by 6?
No.
Yes. Which number makes this equation true? Well, this is an equation I can work out, right? I can do 12 divided by 6 without even reading this. Okay? So how would I do 12 divided by 6 if I don't know the answer? Huh? An array. Skip count. Okay, skip count by what? Okay, so 6, and then what comes next? 12. I counted twice. So what's my answer? 2. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Okay, so this one might have been a little bit confusing because they put the box in the front when normally you would see the box at the end, okay, like that. Okay, so we weren't looking for the total, we were looking for the answer to this division sentence. Okay, so J is correct. Okay, let's skip to number 6. Ready? Who wants to read? All right, Allie.
The jury collected 45 seashells on the beach. At Galveston, she decided to make shell bracelets for 5 friends. Jerry wrote this equation to teach women the number of shells to put on each friend's bracelet 5 times.
Okay, so we need to figure out which of the following does not describe Jerry's equation in words, okay? Now, when we first started learning multiplication, we said that we could say 5 groups of, well, we don't know the second number, so we could just say 5 groups of something equals 45, okay? So now we need to go through each answer choice and figure out which one is not correct, okay? So F, 5 groups of some number is the same as 45.
No.
Is that one correct? It is correct, okay? But we want the one that's not correct. Okay? G, 5 groups of 45, so that would be 5 groups of 45 is the same as the product.
No.
Is that what this says?
Yes.
Is that going to give us the same box?
No.
No, it's not, okay? So we would label that not correct. But I'm going to go through all the answer choices. H, 5 times some number is the same as 45. How would I write that, Bryson? 5 times some number. Five times means 5 in the multiplication symbol, right? Some number, I could just put an empty box, is the same as 45. Is that the same as this right here? Yes.
Yes.
Multiplying 5 and a missing factor gives a product of 45. Multiplying 5 and a missing number gives a product of 45. Is that the same? Yes. So the only one that is not the same would be G. Okay, so just remember that 5 groups of means 5 times. Everybody remember that? Okay. Let's go to the next page. And I want you guys to try number 4. Three and 4, and then we're going to check those together before doing this on our own. 3 and 4.
Were you going to read it?
Okay. Stop playing with the pencils and the pen. 3 and 4. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and check number 3 and 4, the ones you were told to do before I paused. So let's look at number 3 together. It says the race car ride at an amusement park has 9 cars. Each car holds 4 people. The park manager uses this equation to find the total number of people who can ride the race cars at one time. Okay? So, did you notice that they're finding the total? Does this number in front of the division problem represent the total? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and write a fact family. So, for division, the second one, the box will stay in front. And then these two numbers flip-flop, right? 4 and 9. Now for multiplication, the box now becomes where? At the front, middle, end. Where does it go? The end. Good, because that's your total. This front number out of a division problem is your total. So for multiplication, it goes to the back. Okay? So now I just need to fill in the 4 and the 9. 4 times 9, 9 times 4. Now do I have a problem I can work out?
Yes.
Yes. 4 times 9, I could do 9, 18, skip counting would be 27, 36. Okay, so C was the correct answer. I already saw what you did. I walked around. Number 4. Becky separated her multiplication flashcards into equal groups of 5 so she can study an equal number of facts each night. Becky used this equation to find how many facts to learn each night. Okay, 40 divided by 5 equals something. Is this an equation we can work out?
Yes.
Yes. You could count by 5s. Good. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And we skipped 8 times. That one wasn't too complicated. You just need to realize that now that we're getting more advanced, the division problem can look backwards, where the answer is in the front and the division problem is in the back. Okay, so don't let that trick you. Kaylee, you have your hand up. What's the question?
I multiplied the 5.
Okay, good. You could have used your answers too, like she said. 8 times 5, 20 times 5. None of those work except for 8. Okay. All right, do we have any questions before we start on our own, or we need to do one more, or are we good?
We're good. One more.
One more, okay, I'm going to pick, let's see which one might give you trouble. Let's look at the very last page. Number 2. 2 or 5? I'll let y'all choose. 2 or 5.
5. 2. 5.
Raise your hand if you want 2 worked out for you with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wait a minute. That number 2 is easy.
Number 5.
Number 2 is easy. Yeah, it is.
They're all easy.
Yeah, they all look easy.
Okay, so number 2 it is. Shh. Circle it. Circle it lets us know, or your parents know, those are the ones we did together. Okay, so number 2 says, Gina wants to make friendship bracelets for 2 girls and 1 boy. How many people is that? 2 girls and 1 boy.
3 people.
3, so that's where we're getting the 3 from. She has 21 beads and she wants to put an equal number of beads on each bracelet. Gina uses this equation to find how many beads to place on each bracelet. Which number makes Gina's division equation true? 21 divided by what equals 3? So again, we have the problem flip-flopped. Okay, so normally we would see it like this. 21 divided by something equals 3. So go ahead and write it the correct way. If you don't want to look at it backwards, then rewrite it.
I got the answer.
Okay, now I can write a fact family to make something that I can work out, because I can't work this out like this. Okay, so for division, what would my next number sentence look like? Kelsey?
The next number sentence.
Remember the 21, or the biggest number, what happens to it? Does it stay in the front, or do we move it?
Move it. Stays in the front.
For a division number sentence, the biggest number stays in the front. Okay? The only ones we flip around are the last 2, like this. Okay? So now I can flip around the 3 and the missing number.
I got my answer.
Is that an equation we can work out?
Yes.
Yes. 21 divided by 3. I can work that out. What can I do, Bryson, to work that out?
You could do one.
Okay. So like equal groups? Could we skip count by 3s?
Yes.
Yes. 3, 6. What would come next? 9,
12,
12, 15, 18,
21.
21.
7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skips. So F is the correct answer. Okay, that's fine. You can do the bubbles. But guys, at this point, you should know what 3 times 7 is without having to skip count. We should have mastered our 3s by now,
I
okay?
mastered my 3s.
All right, so that was the last one we were going to work out together. You guys are going to complete the problems we did not do on pages 201 and 202, okay? Just the last 2 pages. Same thing for those of you in Seesaw. Only do the last 2 pages, the last 2 slides of the problems we did not do together. You don't need to go back and do the first 2 pages, okay?